Yo, what's up everybody? KingGBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Great League video. Today, I'm going to be reacting to some battles sent into the channel by our good friend KingViper. Big shout out to KingViper. We're going to be looking at some very high ELO battles with a very strong Great League team. Now, for those of you who've been watching the channel for a while, you might recognize the core of this team. KingViper here is showcasing the Talonflame and Malamar core, which is the team that I used to hit Legend. The difference between this team and that team is that we're using Clodsire instead. KingViper was the original creator of the Dugong Talonflame team, and he decided with the meta shift with Primeape and Annihilate getting buffed, Dugong's looking a little bit weaker in the meta, so he decided to swap it out for Clodsire instead, and he's had fantastic results with it here. He sent in 3 sets with very positive results, getting all the way up to 3300 ELO plus. He said to me that this team is really good, he wants me to showcase it on the channel, so that I can showcase a team that'll help you guys get to Legend. Big shout out KingViper, super appreciated, and with all that being said, let's hop on into the battles. Of course, I am once again asking for you to drop that like, smash that like button on good timing. You need to like and subscribe on 1, 3, 5 or 7. If you do it twice, if you do it 4 times, that's not going to work. 1, 3, 5, 7. Do not subscribe or drop a like on alignment. Anyway guys, hopping into the battles. He goes for the superpower and dip here on the Dragonite. That's how I was playing it as well. In comes Dunsparce. Typically, Clodsire is pretty fine in here. There is some shield scenario it wins, probably the 1 shield, or maybe the zeros. As you can see, we pretty comfortably take that. We get this move off right away. If he went for the extra, the opponent would have got off the next move. And yeah, I agree with this play, just let this go. It's tempting to come in for a full Incinerate, but you don't want to take the super effective damage. We decided to let this go, which completely makes sense. The opponent swaps out into a Chestnut, and that's absolute curtains. With this team, you want to set up a Talonflame farm down. You don't necessarily want to shield random stuff. The opponent swaps out of the Oranguru, comes into this, and we do make a very nice catch here. X-Scissor would have been double super effective. The opponent was horny for the super effective damage. We catch it on the Clodsire, which is a just super dominant matchup. Interestingly enough, we're running Sludge Bomb on the Clodsire. I do like that play because one of the most difficult Pokemon for this team is Azumarill, so having Sludge Bomb very valuable. In comes Oranguru, we're going to get through massive damage here, and I would not be surprised to see him get off. Okay, so he doesn't get this next move off. Do we survive a Brutal Swing? We don't. I wouldn't have been surprised to see him come into the Talonflame there. We're going to Superpower and dip. The opponent actually shields this. I wonder if they thought it was a Hyper Beam. I don't think that was a particularly good shield. It's about 25% damage, I want to say. Now we can come in with Talonflame. See what he's throwing here. He's going for Fly. That's pretty standard. It probably takes 2 moves to knock this out anyway. I think we're getting to the point where he can probably just Brave Bird it at this stage. The opponent goes for a catch an Oranguru. We Brave Bird the Oranguru here, but we're just in such a good position, and we can actually swap out, build up to back-to-back superpowers. We can easily tank this move. You'll see here that this does roughly about 25%, I want to say, maybe 30 at the most. Doesn't do the most damage, probably not worth shielding the bulky Mandy in the first case, but I think either way you can see that these superpowers really add up, and in the next match we do get the Azu, and we're going to see what KingViper wants to do here. He's going to overfarm like crazy, trying to get the catch. The opponent was not falling for it, and this is a horrible matchup right here. This is kind of where you need Stone Edge. The opponent shields up the move. You know, you tend to get the shield back off the opponent anyway, so it's not like that big of a deal. We go for another Sludge Bomb. I'd be surprised if the opponent shielded again. They do of course tank it. So looking at the situation, right, we have the Azu lead, horrible lead. We come into this, we end up going for a snipe with the Malamar, which is quite an interesting play, giving up alignment. However, the opponent's given us their second shield. I'm expecting him to probably shield once here, get off 2 foul plays, and try to put it into Incinerate downrange. Okay, this is interesting. This is a tough choice. It's still pretty healthy, right? It's a tough choice. The awkward thing is that Drifbloom's got energy, right? So you can get rid of the Azu. I guess you could have predicted the snipe, but like it's such a risky prediction. The opponent comes into Digger's Beam. We go for this. I think we're in a great position now. We can come into Talonflame, easily tank the first move. The opponent does not even build up to the Hyper Beam to scare us a little bit, but we're going to build up to back-to-back moves. We can easily tank a second one. We're going to build up to 5 Incinerates. 5 Incinerates is enough for 1 Brave Bird and 1 Fly. We go for Brave Bird here, go for Fly on the Drifbloom, and I think that will be knocking it out. GG's well played. As you can see, if you play the team somewhat flexibly and don't just, you know, shield random stuff, and try to set up a sort of sweep for Talonflame, you can do amazing things with this team. That's kind of the strategy. We go for a very nice catch here. Does the opponent go for Crunch? They do go for Crunch, which is great. They may stay in here. The matchup between Drapion and Clodsire is pretty fine for Drapion. We go for Sludge Bomb just to get off some damage. We get off a last second Sludge Bomb, and we might be putting this into Talonflame range. The opponent double shields. Yeah, you come in and go for the superpower. I think that's the way to go. Bang, that's going to take them out. Come into Talonflame, they come into Azu. And again, you think, oh, this is so bad, right? This looks really bad. We go for Fly on the first time. I think we probably Brave Bird the second one. We shield this. We're sort of forced into the Brave Bird at this point. The opponent gets off 2 moves here, unfortunately. The Azu might have been just outside Brave Bird range anyway, so it might not have benefited us to go for that. I know it does around 50%. If they're in the yellow, it comes very close to knocking out. Malamar comes in. We just go for Brave Bird, completely destroy it, and the opponent concedes the match. In the first set here, fantastic set, we go 5-0 immediately. getting Viper all the way up to 3244. So Talonflame lead, this is a really interesting one. You build up to 2 above the foul play, 14, you have to do 14, you have to do 14, right? I have to reiterate that, you have to do 14 on that first one, otherwise you don't make it to the second move. Malamar comes in, we get a super power off, we come in with our own Talonflame, get a huge farm down. I think the opponent only really makes one move here. I wouldn't have minded shielding that, because then you could have maybe committed to the Talonflame farm down. Like this, we're sort of forced to throw the moves. The opponent actually double shields the Talonflame and then comes into Serp. And we come into Clodsire and that's absolute GG's. Either way, if he decides to shield or not, up 2 shields, Clodsire will be basically anything. We get a Drippy on lead. This is again like a very awkward lead. When I was playing Malamar Talonflame, I hated seeing this thing. You did have the Dugong for it, and we do have Clodsire for it now. It's a very awkward Pokemon to deal with. We go for catching Clodsire once again. The opponent most likely stays in here to go for Aqua Tails, but in fact they come into Ape, which I think is quite an interesting play. We can take a Rage Fist, no problem. By the looks of things, the opponent does not have a great answer to this. I do wonder if it's Primeape in the back. That would sort of make sense here. Coming into Ape's not like a super hard answer to Clodsire. He goes for a Rage Fist. We can probably come back into the Malamar, force the energy, or just get, put this into Incinerate range maybe. That's perfect. The opponent does not get off on a Rage Fist. We might have needed to shield. The opponent comes into the Drapion on low health. I would put money on the fact that this is probably, it's Primeape in the back. It is Primeape in the back. I think we should be basically fine here. The opponent will go in good timing. We have to no-shield the first move. Rage Fist coming in, they can't quite Karate Chop us down. If this was Annihilate ramping up, you might think, okay, we're in trouble here. But because it's only Karate Chop, we're in a very good position. In comes Clodsire, very good lead for us here, I believe. Clodsire is just such a sort of bulky Pokemon that I can really just stay in and kind of play out the zeros with anything. Anytime I ever use Clodsire, that's how I play it out. Just go for the Earthquake. Probably should have thrown our move there, but we might be committing to a massive farm down. We just built up to back-to-back moves. I would have liked to see the move get thrown a bit sooner there, but that's perfectly fine. In comes Feraligatr. We're going to get the shield back, and I would assume we swap out here to not allow them to farm us down. We come into Clodsire. This is so bad for us, man. Feraligatr is just going to sweep this match. I don't think there's any way we can win this. We go for the Earthquake, which is our like quote-unquote win con here at this point. I guess you could have went for Sludge Bomb. We do get a CMP. I think that was a mistake by the opponent going for that CMP. Sometimes you don't want to go for CMP. The opponent's going to dip out with some energy and low health. They come into Primeape. Can we still win this matchup? It's going to be quite close here. They're super spamming to these Rage Fists, man. Unfortunately, just in this particular scenario, with the Feraligatr being so close to a move, not really being able to overfarm on the Primeape, I think we're just kind of cooked here, unfortunately. They come back in, drop the Hydro Cannon. Our Pokemon are just super low health. We come into the Malamar. Sorry, was that a one-turn bring-in? Let me just actually slow that down real quick. Guys, I gotta say, this game is absolutely terrible. That was a one-turn bring-in. Had he not got the one-turn bring-in, he would have won that match, because the opponent was 1 HP. That one Psywave would have made all the difference. Anyway guys, we get a Drifblim in the next match. I would consider this to be a good lead for Malamar, however Drifblim can be just really awkward. They go for Icy Wind here. Are we going to aggro pivot here? I guess we just keep the alignment. Come in Talonflame, commit to a massive farm down. I really like this play. The opponent cannot farm us the whole way down. They're going to have to swap out unless they want us to get a load of energy. They come into Azu, we come into Clodsire, and then they come into Ape. They come into Shadow Ape. I've used Shadow Ape and non-Shadow. Oh, that does so much damage, dude. I do think that non-Shadow is better because you can tank moves like that a little bit easier. The one thing that Shadow can do is go for 1 Rage Fist, 1 Ice Punch, and knock out a Clodsire, which is pretty insane. They come into Azu, they throw right away, we get the free Poison Sting. I think we stay in here and go for both Sludge Bombs, and then probably go for Brave Bird. Yeah, we're gonna just go for this right away. Doesn't really matter about timing, we just need to land this move. We have a ton of energy in Talonflame, the opponent's well within Brave Bird range at this point. We come in Talonflame, go for Brave Bird right away. And that's going to be good games well played. Bang, the opponent concedes the match immediately. Like, you really have to ask yourself, does this team really care about Azu that much? Like, it can do super effective into your whole team, basically. Super effective bubbles into Talonflame. Super effective Play Rough into the Malamar. Super effective bubbles and Ice Beams into Clodsire. Yet, we're still able to beat these pretty comfortably. We make a very nice catch here, catching the Sludge Bomb. That does so little damage, it's crazy. They're going to go for a catch here, most likely. We do shield up the Earthquake, which I don't mind shielding. They're actually not catching, which is quite interesting. Correctly, Viper goes for an Earthquake. Sludge Bomb will not have come close to knocking out there. They come into Primeape, which is a very interesting one as well. The opponent does not have a great answer to this. It's going to be something else weak to Charm, most likely. They have the Clodsire in the front, Primeape in the back. I'm quite interested to see what the opponent's third Pokemon is. They're going to go for another Rage Fist. Clodsire, like, does not care about this whatsoever. Can we even take another one? Probably not quite from here. What does the opponent have in the back that they're shielding through this? We're going to come into Malamar, absolutely melt the monkey, and the opponent comes into a Mandible. Very interesting. So yeah, something else weak to Charm, bang. They shield the super... Why are people shielding that? People should not be shielding that move, bro. That's not a good shield. If you don't know what's in the back, like, you don't be shielding those moves. It does not make any sense to shield that. Because as you can see, the Fly will definitely do a lot more damage. We're going to get off of Brave Bird, right? Whenever you don't know what's in the back, you sort of have to let moves like Super Power go, especially if it's neutral. And like, why are you shielding a bulky Mandibuzz? People love shielding their bulky Pokemon. I really just don't understand that mentality. But anyway guys, hopping into the next one, we get a fantastic lead in my opinion, Sandslash. Sandslash comes pretty commonly paired with Azu, so we're going to like to get off 2 moves. Does Malamar win CMP? I think it does. Right, it does win CMP, so we get both shields off the opponent for the price of none. Or the opponent lets the Sandslash go, they come into Gator, we have to swap right out, we can't afford to let them farm us down. We'll take the first Hydro Cannon, most likely go for a double Sludge, we actually go for Earthquake. I probably would have went for the Sludge. These 4 alligators, bro, they shield everything, dude. Yeah, I think we do shield here. Is this going to be CMP? It is. I think it's worth it, dude. We got the CMP tie there. It's better to have this gotten rid of and have Talonflame in the Zero Shield, instead of trying to like build up to extra moves with Talonflame. You just want to get rid of Alligator ASAP. Aqua Tail coming through. We're going to get to this Brave Bird, no problem whatsoever. Bang! Goodbye. I guess the opponent wasn't running Azu, they were running AB weak to ground, which I think is a little bit psychotic, but anyway, hopping into the next one, we have a Quaggy lead. This is fairly neutral, I would say. You go for 1 Foul Play, 1 Superpower. We don't want to see this in the backline at all. We're happy enough probably to take these moves. I probably would have no-shielded this Aqua Tail because you do get off the move anyway, but it's working out very nicely because we probably get off 2 superpowers or very close to it. I think he recognized he was going to die to that Dragon Breath, so he swaps out, preserves the opportunity to go for a superpower later, and we're going to go in with Clodsire. Once again, they can do super effective damage to us. Clodsire does not care about these moves. We'll easily tank this, we'll get off a move. The opponent swaps it back into Quagsire. This will near enough knock them out, if not fully knock them out. We're waiting to see what comes back. I think, yeah, you just go Talonflame almost no matter what here. The opponent goes for Icy Wind. Depending on how much fast move pressure you want to take, you could do 2 here in throw. We do 1 in throw. That's perfectly fine. Get it off before they get this next move off. We get the 2 anyway. They come back into the Goodra, and that should be GG's for them. Yep, that fly will knock them out. Swapping out allowed them to get to that extra move, but unfortunately for this opponent, they just don't have enough left in the tank. We're going to farm it all the way down, and we're hopping into a Pidgeot lead. I think he's saying at the very least superpower here. I would like to... I probably want a superpower and dipped here, honestly, into Clodsire. They actually let that move go, which is kind of insane. I was not expecting that. You just let this go. Why would you not Brave Bird there, by the way? They come into Gastrodon. I think we just stay where we are. Yep, come into Talonflame. I don't mind shielding a potential Water Pulse here. Water Pulse has been a little bit more common recently. Gastrodon is so bad into things like Mandy that Water Pulse is kind of necessary in my personal opinion. We're going to go free and throw here. I don't think Viper was expecting the shield right here, which is probably why he went for the free and throw in that case. Everyone's going to go for the move once again. They go for Water Pulse. We're going to farm it the whole way down. That's a massive Incinerate down. And yeah, this is GG's. We can go for this. We can probably even swap into the Clodsire at this point. We end up just going for both moves. There's pretty much no reason not to at this stage. We come into Clodsire, we're going to Poison Sting all the way down. That's good games well played. Hopping into the next one, Drapion lead. I hate this lead. It's just cringe, bro. Guys, Drupion's cringe, right? I'm gonna say it. Nobody else is saying it, right? I'll be the first to say it. Drupion's cringe. Sorry to Jimmy Finn, I know it's your favourite Pokemon, but listen, right? I'll even admit this, right? My favourite Pokemon to use is Diggersby. It's been my favourite Pokemon in GBL for several seasons, even though it's been nowhere near meta. Back in the day when Basti, Registeel was super common, the Medicham meta, I loved Diggersby before Mudshot was nerfed and everything. Mudshot was the standard moveset. I loved Diggersby always. During the Noctowl meta, where you could quick attack Fire Punch down a Noctowl, that was fantastic as well, right? But I can admit that Pokemon is starting to become a little bit cringe. It's kind of getting to the point where it's getting a little bit overpowered, especially with buff Fire Punch. I'm really interested to see that. You know what? I take it back. I take it back. Diggersby's fine. Daddy Diggersby. Drapion. GG's well played. Hopping into the next one, we have a little bit of Malamar versus Malamar action. We're gonna build up to the move. We go for Foul Play right away. I think I sometimes go for double superpower in this matchup. I think we let this move go here. The opponent's basically giving us what we want here at this point. I definitely want to win superpower the second time. They go for Foul Play the second time as well. It's interesting seeing this match play out. They let that move go. It's probably going to come down to CMP. We go for the catch and Clodsire. I love that catch right there. We're going to tank the superpower and see what the opponent wants to do. Staying in here to build up more energy, and they come into Licky Licky. Unless the Licky Licky's an Earthquake, they're not really going to do much here. 2 Earthquakes will basically knock them out. I don't think the Malamar builds back up to the superpower. We're going to go for 4 and throw here, look to get off this final Earthquake, which just about does knock them out. We come into Malamar. Once again, not allowing the opponent to get a massive advantage with the Drifblim. We do get farmed down, but we're setting up Talonflame for the sweep once again. Anyway guys, I'm pretty sure we're going to win this one. The opponent will go for an Icy Wind. We could let this go. I think the opponent will most likely try to go for a catch here. They do probably free and swap. We do go for this here. And yeah, unfortunately we end up Brave Birding there. That's kind of hilarious, to be honest with you. Kind of unfortunate, but good games, man. Once again, big shout out KingGBL. I really enjoyed watching these battles. And once again, if you're trying to push for a legend, give this team a try. If not this team, try the Dugong variation instead of Clodsire. But I do think he's right. I think with the apes in the meta, especially because they're getting nerfed next week, you're most likely going to see them quite a lot in GBL this week, and that could be a good opportunity to counter the meta and get some gains out of it. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all next time. By the way, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the move updates in the comment section down below. What do you think is good, what do you think is bad, and I'll catch you all next time.